Hello everyone. I welcome you all to this lesson. Today I am going to discuss on a very important lesson, transformation of sentences. So dear children, please listen till the end of the video. It will be helpful for you. So here I begin. First of all, let us understand the meaning of the term transformation of sentences. Sentences can be classified into affirmative, negative, imperative, interrogative, assertive, declaration, and exclamatory sentences. These sentences can be transformed into different form without changing the meaning of the sentence. This process is known as transformation of sentences. So, my first chapter of transformation is divided into 6 rules, and they are number 1, rule number 1, remove 2, where 2 means more than enough or excess, and 2 is an adverb. So, now let us take an example. He is too old to be whipped. Here we have the adverb to and we follow this instruction. Remove to. Where to? What do we do then? First we remove to and place it with so. And then we remove the second to and add 3 words in its place. And what are those 3 words? They are that he cannot, or that she cannot, or that it cannot, where that is common. And since the subject is he in this sentence, so we add he, and if the subject was she, then we could have written she, and if the subject was it, then we could have written it. That is common. Why he? Because the subject is he. If the subject is she, so she will be written, and if the subject is it, so it will be written. It depends upon the subject, so that he and cannot. Why? Because the question is in the present tense. If the question had been in the past tense, that is, he was so old, then it would have been that he was so old that he could not. So, if the question is in the past tense, it will be could not, and if the question is in the present tense, then it will be cannot. So, which are the 3 words that we add instead of to? The infinitive to, that he cannot. And did you notice one thing? The question was in affirmative. So the answers takes a negative. Cannot. That's a negative statement. He is too old to be whipped. This is an affirmative sentence. And how it is changed? He is so old that he cannot be whipped. Now let us take another example. She is too shy to ask for help. In this sentence, first of all we remove to and place it with so. Then we remove the second to and add 3 words in its place. And what are these 3 words? That, she, cannot, where that is common, and since the subject is she, so we add she depends upon the subject, so that she and cannot. Why? Because the question is in the present tense. If the question had been in the past tense, she was too shy to ask for help, then we remove to and place it with so, and then we remove the second to and add 3 words in its place, and those 3 words are that, she, could not. So if the question is in the past tense, we write could not or couldn't, and if the question is in the present tense, then we write cannot or can't. Now let us take another example of rule number 1. It is too dark to walk on the road. In this statement, first we remove to, T-O-O, and place it with so. Then we remove the second to, T-O, and place it by that one cannot. If the subject is it, then we can take one as conversion. So the sentence will be, it is so dark that one cannot walk on the road. If in a sentence there is adjective like proud, lazy, cruel, then we can also use will not, wouldn't instead of can't and couldn't. Now let us take an example. The people were too lazy to finish their work on time. So in this sentence, we remove TOO and place it with so. And then we remove the second to and add three words, that is, they would not. So the sentence will be, the people were so lazy that they would not finish work on time. So the formula for conversion of to will be that plus subject plus cannot or would not plus verb. Now let us recapitulate rule number 1. Number 1. If the sentence is in the present tense, we use can't or cannot. If the sentence is in the past tense, we use could not or couldn't. If the sentence is in affirmative, it changes to negative. TOO is always followed by TO2. Rule number 5. The formula for conversion of TO2 is that plus subject plus cannot plus verb in case of past tense. And in place of cannot, it will be could not in case of past tense. This was the present tense. Cannot will be used in present tense and could not will be used in the past tense. I hope rule number 1 is clear to you. Now I move to rule number 2. Here we have to insert to or use to. Now for rule number 2, let us take an example. The teacher was so weak that he cannot control the class. So what we will do? We have to, suppose you have got this particular sentence and your instruction is TOO, used to, so it is just what you did earlier. It will be just the opposite way. So what do you do? Here, remove so, in its place you write TOO and then the three words that you had added in the previous question, you will remove those three words and only put a to. That to which we had eliminated. We bring in that TOO here. So your answer will be, the teacher is too lazy to control the class. We can take another example. He is so weak that he cannot walk. So what do you do here is remove so and place it with TOO and then remove the three words that he cannot and replace it with to. So the sentence will be, he is too weak to walk. We can take another example. Sita is so slow that she cannot win the race. The converted sentence will be, Sita is too slow to win the race. Now let us move towards rule number 3, where objects like mountain, sun, etc. are given. That is, when non-living things are given, then we use the word no one or one cannot. And now let us see the following example. Remember, in this rule number 3, in place of is an, are, we can write can. Can is used. And in place of was and were, could is used. So my first example is, the mountain was too high to climb. The mountain was, in this sentence we see that it is a past tense. First of all, we will remove to and place it with so. And then we remove the second to and write it in two ways by inserting the three words as under. So my first conversion will be, the mountain was so high that one could not climb it, or the mountain was so high that one could climb it, could climb it, or the mountain was so high that it can't be climbed upon. Similarly, we can take another example. The tree is too high to climb. First of all, remove to and place it with so. Then remove to and place it either by that no one or that one cannot. So the sentence will be, the tree is so high that no one can climb it, or the tree is so high that one could not climb it. You can write it in either ways. Similarly, we can see these examples. The sun is too hot to go out. We can write this sentence in two ways. The sun is so hot that one cannot go out, or the sun is so hot that no one can go out. Now, next example, it is too cold to go out. We can write this sentence again in two ways, as it is so cold that one cannot go out, or it is so cold that no one can go out. My next example is, it is too dark to see anything. We can write this sentence also in two ways, as it is so dark that one cannot see anything, or it is so dark that no one can see anything. Now I move towards rule number 4. In rule where only single to is present. In rule number 4, only single to is given. We have to follow the following rules for conversion. Number 1, we can follow the comparative degree, that is, and use the word that it is proper or it should be. We can also use in this another rule in rule number 4 is, we can change for him changes to he, for her changes to she, for them changes to they, for us changes to we, for you changes to you, and for me changes to I. Now, let us take some example. Number 1 is, the tea is too hot. We can write this by using the comparative degree. The tea is hotter than it should be, or than it is proper. He is too weak. He is weaker than it should be. He runs too fast. He runs faster than it is proper. She was too busy. She was busier than it is proper. She is too dull. She is duller than it is proper. Now example of rule number 4b. Like we had used for me, we can use I. So we can see the sentence, this work is too hard for me. Your answer will be, this work is so hard that I cannot do it. Instead of for me, I have used I, and to, so is used. My next example is, the tree is too high for me to climb. The tree is so high that I cannot climb. My next example is, it was too hot for me to go out. The answer will be, it was so hot that he could not go out. Now I move towards rule number 5. In rule number 5, where not is used, that is negative infinitive is there. So in rule number 5, not is used, and what we have to do? We have to convert the negative sentence into affirmative sentence. So the examples are number 1, he is too intelligent not to solve the problems. So this is a negative sentence. We have to convert it into affirmative sentence. So the sentence will be, or the answer will be, he is so intelligent that he can solve all the problems. My next example is, he is too strong not to lift this heavy box. Answer will be, he was so strong that he could lift this heavy box. Now I move towards rule number 6, and this is the last rule. In rule number 6, we will discuss where only two is given and infinitive to is absent along with adjectives. In this case, we will replace two with extremely, over, very, quite. Any one word we can take, or we can also take the word beyond the proper limit. Now let us see the example for rule number 6. Number 1. He is too eager for praise. We can place two with very, extremely, over, quite, anything. Any one you can take. So the sentence will be, he is very eager for praise, or we can write this sentence as, he is eager for praise beyond the proper limit. My next example is, the weather is too hot. We can write this as, the weather is extremely hot. My next example is, the water is too cold. So we can write this sentence as, the water is extremely cold, or the water is very cold. So dear children, with these 6 rules of transformation having discussed with you, I end my lesson. Hope this lesson will be beneficial for you in your exam. Coming up very soon with another part of transformation of sentence for you. Keep watching my video till the end. Thank you.